This week in Unit 5 we look at planning for demand and supply. It's obviously a critical aspect of any supply chain is the ability to forecast the expected demand and then the ability to, as efficiently as possible, meet that demand. Forecasting demand enables organisations to start thinking about how they plan their capacity. So we look at some tools that organisations can use to forecast demand. Now, the variability in demand will very much determine where on this continuum between efficient and responsive supply chains the organisation wants to be. If demand is very certain, then organisations will tend to operate towards the efficient end of the supply chain because they know that whatever they produce, ultimately they will be able to sell. So they can start to think about, well, what's the most efficient way to produce the product? However, organisations that have demand which is less certain will want to be operating more towards the responsive end of the supply chain because they don't know what that demand will be, and what's important to them is the ability to quickly scale up or scale down their capacity in response to whatever demand they get. So we look at some simple tools that we can use in Excel to forecast demand, taking historical demand figures and forecasting out into the future what the likely demand will be. Again, these are all Excel tools. You'll get plenty of Excel templates to use. Whilst there's some calculation involved, it's all done within the Excel spreadsheet. So the most important thing is you understand the underlying concepts behind the forecasting tools that we're using. We look at regression analysis to forecast, and again, those of you who have done the quantitative methods subject within the MBT will not have any problem with that. If you haven't done the quantitative methods, don't worry too much. There's not a lot of calculation involved. Again, it's understanding those concepts behind what regression is doing that's important. Having developed a forecast for the expected demand, the next step for any organisation is to start to think about how can we most efficiently meet that forecast by producing the product or service. Now, all organisations have limitations on their ability to meet the demand. They have restrictions, capacity limitations, limitations on the amount of labour, and so on. So organisations have to balance these capacity limitations and most efficiently produce the product to meet demand. A useful tool for doing this is a tool known as linear programming. So we have a look at this concept of linear programming, which really allows an organisation to optimise its production of products to meet the market demand and therefore optimise its profitability. Again, the assignment is due either this week or next week, so make sure you're getting on top of that, and I'll see you in Unit 6.